Hey, welcome to another installment of Hymns of the Heretics, a cult Divinity Lost story. It's been a while. We have, for many reasons, been on a bit of a hiatus as all of us get our lives together and go on vacation, go to weddings, um, work overtime, survive storms. So, we are going to jump back in. So, as of this moment, I have, out of the six characters that we follow on Hymns of the Heretics, we have four. So let's kind of review where everyone has left off. Um, Last time so I'm just gonna kind of rattle off a little bit of what I'm recalling when I have in notes. So Freya has kind of had to uh reconcile or reckon with the reality that um a lot of the nonsense that she kind of would hear her parents talk about, or she heard in church, was like real, but not in a real, but like in a way that was just really not expected, and that there are some kind of supernatural or occult goings on in the church that uh that the church or someone in the church had been detailing her life, been keeping a dossier on her, that she uh, seemed to have been selected to be a survivor after what the church leadership, predicted would be the apocalypse. And that her parents have been, aware of this and have been sort of preparing her spiritually for this role. Um, so that's what's going on with Freya. Willow has had a lot of their disturbing, um, I mean, has been having increasingly disturbing experiences with the church, finding out that there's occult and supernatural goings on. Um, and that also the church has been in some ways deceiving um, the congregation, in some ways um, manipulating, controlling, murdering, and your faith is sort of like hanging on by a thread. Um, you're also kind of following the journey of your grandfather into heresy, and there's a stash of his journals somewhere um, that um, has kind of more information on that. Um, James, you're uh, the church that was a source of stability um, and of kind of like moral guidance for you in your youth is pretty much gone. The veil, the illusion has been ripped away, and you understand now that it even had a role in the death of your father, um, you have, uh, along with Freya and Willow, witnessed the tearing away of like a faction of the church, which seems to claim, or seems to uh, they seem to say that they're, not like the old version of the church, not like the old prophet. Um, and yet, you know, it's hard for you to trust because you've been through a lot. Um, Marsha, um, it is now very clear to you and everyone else around you that the community of your birth in Snook, Texas, has been sending horrible supernatural monsters to drag you back. And the you found a great deal of safety in Nayeli and in your ally Josh. And yet, the that that targeting will not, it seems like it will not end unless there's some kind of intervention. Is there any other thoughts? Did I miss anything? Anything that we need to remind ourselves of as we kind of push forward?
I don't think so.
Okay. So the last kind of beat, and this is kind of tough because I think Josh was very involved in this, is that there were conversations about going back to Snook and figuring things out. Of course, um, we don't have a Josh right now. So I'm gonna put kind of the ball in y'all's court. Each of you have, kind of an objective or um, a thread that you want to pull at. So, let's say that we're here in the middle of the week. There's been, a couple of the things that have happened. There's been a great deal of violence. Um, there's this understanding that the old prophet and his, fringe followers pose danger to the community. Um, and I think that's it. So, if anyone has a next step, a thread that they want to pull, something that you want to do, um, the floor is yours.
Yeah,
I
so, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, my thing's gonna be real. I just want to stalk. I'm sorry. What's their character's name? What's Andy's character's name? I forgot.
Cole,
Cole. I think Marsha would stalk Cole, kind of
okay. What do you mean?
like want to be around him, see if he does any more mystical, godly things.
That's right. Cole has, you've seen evidence of him being sort of touched by divine. Wait, you did, right? At
Mm-hmm.
some point? Okay. So you're interested in him. So, honestly, Cole is, when he's not like getting into trouble with his sibling, kind of, regular schmegular kind of life. You notice Marcia that he is spending time with his wife and baby, helping with the, you know, um in the kitchen with Nayeli. Um, okay. So you start to kind of like insinuate yourself a little bit into Cole's sphere. Are you trying to be sneaky about it? Are you being pretty like blunt?
No, not sneaky at all. It would just be like Marsha's there.
Okay.
It's like, why? But she's there.
Yeah, and actually it probably wouldn't be too much of a shock because, Nayeli expects you to be nearby, you know? And it seems like well, Cole is sort of integrated into that sphere. So, um, okay. James?
Yeah, I was going to say when we ended last, I think people were thrusting for the idea of going back to the other church, the
Hmm.
Stalker Church, but James is not pushing that. Is basically just waiting for someone else to kind of want to do that.
Hmm.
It's not really his primary objective. I think he's thinking mostly, like probably around the house. It's trying to keep an eye on things that are outside of the norm, and since we have access to the kind of not normal teachings, I believe I'd probably be consuming that content
Oh yeah.
primarily.
Yeah, so what do you want to know, or what are you curious about, or do you want just like a general
I'm basically waiting
summary?
for like I'm kind of breezing through it, like
Okay.
being kind of learned and a reader type and writer.
Hmm.
Like I'm not really reading the content. I'm looking for things that are going to pop out at me, specifically things that might have to do with dreams, dream walking, anything related to kind of my position in it, so I can understand it, possibly better combat our threats, our problems.
Yeah, so the very first um kind of concept that is made clear to you by the kind of new kind of uh the the most newly revealed content, the the updated lore, right? Is that uh, basically it's the message is that the God of the Old Testament is a tyrant, and that one of his lieutenants, a lieutenant that helped to create the physical reality of the world, which is known in the scriptures as the illusion, rebelled after the tyrant sort of disappeared, and now labors to help humanity awaken from their sleep, and that seeks to have human beings break their chains and um, kind of realize their inherent exaltation and transcendence, not in a figurative way, in a literal way, that there are powers such as what you have experienced that can be unlocked by certain rituals, certain um, uh, practices, and for some people, just sort of intuitively. Um, some people are just genetically, according to the scripture, more, um, they can access things a little bit more easily. Um, you notice that, the ability to dream jump is sort of one of those things. There's others like astral projection, um, and just other things that are bilocation or whatever, things that seem kind of amazing or miraculous, that are included in these. And also, there are some like revelations or some uh predictions about the future that are not strictly um related to awakening exactly, but that are kind of like um basically it's like the apocalyptic predictions that certain things are going to happen, and certain people are going to have these visions, and these signs are going to occur in the world, and these are the signs that the world is ending. And that's basically the main ideas that you get from reviewing what's been presented to you by Nayeli.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like there's a lot that's kind of tutorial in the
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah. There are things that are tutorial. In fact, a few people, I thought it was you.
What?
Some people gained the dabble in.
The rituals. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Were you there for that?
I was. Yep.
Yeah. So let me drag that in there for you.
Dabbler in the occult. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So yeah, you find that there are many different ways that you can um, interact with um, that you can interact with uh, the illusion, with the beings that, you might have at some point described as spiritual, like, demons or angels, of ways to fine tune your abilities, by dabbling in the occult. And you can roll some of your other abilities like investigation or observation to sort of give yourself advantages when you're dabbling in the occult. And then also you can use other people's help to give you an advantage when you dabble in the occult. So yeah, there's also books that give you like um, that explanation of what to do. Now, finding what you need, that'll take a little bit of luck and a
Okay.
little bit of skill.
Yeah, and it sounds like from what I've read on the advantage, um, failing is probably a bad idea. So I definitely want to come at that if I do want to try and use that specific advantage. I probably want to make sure I have all the bonuses I can muster on that. So
Yeah.
okay, so then yeah, I'll lock that in and um, probably use it for future reference.
Okay. Um, yeah, so a failure in dabbler in the occult results in not having the uh not having protection against the forces or entities the ritual summons. The effects of the ritual are slightly different than what you had imagined, or the ritual summons unexpected entities or forces. So it could be really bad. Oh
No,
wait, oh shit, no, that's the partial.
yeah, I'm good on
Ah,
all of the partials. the also plus move equals not good for me.
The
I
0
am
to 9.
I am solid on not suffering any of those problems ever, so I am going to hold off before I start using that advantage, and I will make sure when I do, I'm kind of going into it with, like you said, preparatory work, like everything I
Cool.
can to do it.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, Marsha is sticking like uh glue to Cole and Yelly. James has now that James has had an opportunity to throw back a couple of drinks, courtesy of Nayeli, is probably feeling a little bit, less intense, a little bit more focused. Um, I don't know if you got stability, if you recovered stability for that, but I'm gonna
I
let you
did.
do that now.
Oh, I already
You
did.
did?
If you want to
Oh,
give
you
me
did.
more, I'll take it, but I did recover it.
Thank you for being honest. So you'll remain where you're at.
Okay.
Uh, all right, so let's move on to Freya or Willow.
So I think Willow's in a bit of a rock and a hard place at the moment. Um, there are questions that they have that they can't really answer without triggering their above table their fanatic disadvantage, but in game their belief in the old religion.
Hmm.
So I think Willow kind of has to make a move here. Like something needs to happen. But if something does happen, I risk moving entirely to a broken state. Because I'm irrational right now, which is about as far down the list as you can get before you end up broken. So, well, it's a little stuck.
Well, um, Willow is kind of stuck. Uh, they have the opportunity to um recover some of their stability, I would say, in first spending time with people that so for example, spending time with Cole and talking with Cole might win you back some stability. Um, and then also, you've got your buddy Craig, who might also be a you know, a source of distraction for a few hours.
I
Um,
do have Craig, don't I?
yeah, so I mean, it doesn't mean, I mean, I'm not saying you have to like do anything intimate with Craig, but even like spending some time, I don't know, having a coffee or drinking a beer with Craig, or
Yeah,
not that you are allowed to drink beer in your religion, but
maybe, well,
or
maybe we are now.
maybe you are now, honestly. Um, so that might help reduce some of your stability, or I'm sorry, increase your stability, and
I can
then
reduce my stability all on my own, don't worry.
very easily, yeah. Um,
So I think I might do that. I might try to
okay,
reach out to Craig, get a little bit of my stability back because I think I do want to dabble in the occult.
of course you do.
I want to reach out to something, whatever whatever
Sure.
God, whoever it is. I want to see what happens there, but I want to get some stability back before I do that.
Okay. How what do so you call Craig. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
What do you say to Craig?
Hey, Craig. Um, do you want to grab a beer? Just really like straight to the point, a little hesitant, but then I'm just gonna give up on it and be like, you want to go out?
Yeah, let's
You want to do
go.
something?
I'm
Yeah,
supposed to work right now, but I don't want to work right now. Let's go. I'm
okay,
gonna
yep,
call.
let's do it.
I'm gonna leave my shift early. Give me 30
Just
minutes and I'll meet you at X bar.
perfect. I forgot he is abandoning all rational behavior right now. So yeah,
Yeah. All right. So, you have a beer. What kind of lies do you tell him?
I should probably just leave out all of the religious stuff. Like I'm a
Yeah,
normal individual, just living my life, teaching. I go home and watch TV or whatever. Totally haven't seen any apparitions or been covered in blood rituals or none of that's ever happened.
beautiful. So,
Just a very
yeah,
normal person.
Craig believes all of your lies easily, and the two of you spent, a lovely time having a beer. You can recover one stability.
All right, so figure Craig and I probably hang out until I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
So when Willow comes back, they want to find somewhere quiet, not in the house, like somewhere either out on the grounds or possibly even outside of the wall, if that's a possible place, if there is nowhere quiet in the compound. And I just want to do like a little bit of what Willow thinks is how you talk to the occult, which is like you light a candle and you meditate and maybe something happens. And just I want to see if something happens.
Sure. So, and you want to do it without any kind of preparation or help.
Yeah, Willow's just going off on their own, making probably a horrible decision.
Okay. No, that's good. So, who are you trying to contact?
I want to try to contact quote unquote God from the old religion, which is probably not going to work. Willow's just kind of extending an olive branch, and hopefully someone is going to answer their questions.
Okay. So, let's say that on the compound in the evening, around 9:30, 10, you come upon a trailer that's been erected, um, that th where there's like uh they're keeping like stores of dry goods. There's nobody
Mm-hmm.
in there. It's quiet. There's like one light bulb that you have to like pull a chain to light. There's no windows. Um, you can have some privacy in there if you like.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Somewhere nobody's going to be, stumbling upon randomly. It's out of the way.
Okay. You find a candle like in the emergency stores. You pull up um like a big sack of rice and you stack up some boxes. Um, you light your candle.
I know.
All right, go ahead and roll to dabble in the occult.
I'm scared. Oh, okay.
A success.
I did
And
not expect that.
I know this is interesting. So intuitively, you you call out to that authority in your life that gave you so much stability, so much guidance, um, a um, an almost kind of like paternal uh, figure, um, you hear kind of like a tearing. Like if somebody like I don't know if you've heard like cloth tear and you hear that
Right.
right like in your ears. And there's you feel like the space around you shifting and warping and curling. Um, your uh candle is extinguished and you're in the dark.
I
You
think Willow would
hear,
just okay.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think Willow would just call out because I've probably their eyes are like tightly squeezed shut, but they can tell like the light's no longer there. And that they would just say like, "Hello, anybody? Am I insane?"
You hear a uh you hear like this resounding, echoing masculine voice um that says your name. Willow, you were right to call out, to plead for guidance.
I just don't know what to do. I don't know what's right anymore.
I am not God himself, Willow, but I am his voice. And I can tell you that at this moment, there is nobody in your life that is guiding you into the path of righteousness. You now must take up that mantle, the thing that Nayeli reveres, rebels against the just and sacred hierarchy. Even your beloved prophet failed to understand the complete truth, which is that God demands obedience and that the foul and dangerous games that they are playing will lead all of you to destruction and madness. Your grandfather, he is the one. Or your was it your grandfather that went mad? Yeah. Your grandfather
Grandfather.
knew the right way. He found parishioners in another town that followed a true religion.
What religion? What town? What?
Um, in Navasota, so near you, God's lovely children had uh, they had the truth. They worshipped the true God. Unfortunately, uh, a band uh, of crazed um, and um, a band of crazed travelers, people who were excommunicated from the church, returned and burned it to the ground. So, you're the last one. You're the last real believer now that you have reached out. And now that you have chosen to listen.
My grandfather's journals, do they have answers or are they just rambling?
Your grandfather was a soldier, and unfortunately, in his fight uh, to protect you and the rest of the world from the demonic, um, he suffered greatly. The the words in his journals carry important truths. Um, you just have to know how to approach it. Call again. Call again with the journals to our Lord on high and utter his name, and you may be able to secure the wisdom and the guidance from those journals. Willow, you are the last one, at least in this region, to have truth and allegiance to our true God. So protect yourself. The um, those seeking to tear God's plan asunder and pervert it, they are ruthless. They are they have no morals. So be wary of them. The light,
Can I
yeah, go ahead.
can I ask, what do you call this religion? 'Cause there are so many here and they're all so similar and so different, and I don't know if any of them truly matter. What do I call this?
Willow, the name of the religion doesn't matter. It's never mattered. What matters is that we obey the demands of our one Lord, Kether.
Does Willow recognize that name?
No,
Okay. I understand. I will get the journals. I will convince my family and my friends that they are doomed if they don't change their ways.
it's true. Everyone around you is doomed if they refuse to kneel to the source of all creation. And with that, your candle's flame reignites and you find yourself again illuminated. Um, the feelings of, warpedness, of rippedness fade, and you are once again alone.
How much time passed with all that?
I won't say that there was too much like time fluctuation.
Okay.
It took a few minutes to have the
Okay.
conversation.
I probably shaking and very stuttery. I try to as nonchalantly as possible put things back and leave the trailer and I think just walk for a while and just think everything over.
Okay. All right. So, what about Freya? What's Freya up to?
Freya has been, I've been poring over the file that I found on myself,
Hmm.
just kind of laying all the pages out, kind of trying to make sense of everything. Definitely in as quiet of a spot as I can find, which is probably going to be hard with all the movement around the compound. Uh,
You're in the trailer with me. We didn't know.
just backseat
Yep.
driving. Okay. Um, so yeah, maybe there's a secluded spot that no one really passes by, or people pass by, they don't pay attention to it very much. It's just everyone has something else on their mind. So maybe she is just in plain sight with everyone else. But she's shaking a little bit and just really lost and really confused, not sure what next step should be, and kind of
Yeah,
just this world shattering for her.
right. So you have all of this information, and you can even cross-reference it with a lot of the new Nayeli has really offered this sort of like open library of information
Mm.
that wasn't available to you before. So you're welcome to do an investigate check to see what shakes out as you are trying to connect the dots.
Yeah, let's go for that. Well, I
Um,
tried.
well, you can still get information. You may have to pay a price for it.
At this point, she would, with her obsession.
Okay. Yeah. So, the so we're just assuming that you're going to pay the price. So let me tell you what you get. You are able to using like you're able to like plot some of the ways that your your family or well your parents like prepared you for these rituals. There's detail in like the kinds of incense that were burned, the geographical locations, coordinates, um, the phases of the moon. All of these details are kind of like explained. And you've got your tinfoil hat on. You are, in your mind's eye, connecting points with yarn, right, on like this um, pins with yarn on this big board in your mind, and you realize that this grooming that was occurring was like was related to a ritual that is unnamed that required 7 people, 7 people identified um, by the prophet to survive in uh, the in the post-apocalypse. And you know that you're one of them. You notice that another one of the rituals requires a bit of um, ritualized ostracizing, a pushing, a ejecting, and that the process of this individual returning to the flock was preparatory and purifying. You wonder if that might be James.
She would pick up on that pretty quickly, given that the only other person who she's the only other black sheep of the congregation, and if that doesn't fit her, then there's only one other logical answer. She would want to take that information to James, maybe not right away, like she'd say and read more, but at some point she would want to convey that.
So there are one, two, three, four, five other positions in this ritual. Uh, your position, Freya, is called woman. James's position is called man. Another position is called third. Another position is called guardian. Another is high priestess. Another is high priest. And another is high cleric. And the goal of this ritual is to, once the earth has been cleansed of all uh, un of all unworthy souls, the people named in this prophecy will have the ascended, transcendent, and exalted new humanity. They will create a new humanity after the world has ended. You um I don't have a cost for you in this exact moment, so I'm gonna hold on to it for a little bit. Okay?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, works for me.
Do you immediately go to James?
She would,
Okay.
just for that comfort of seeking out someone familiar, someone who had mentioned these weird things happening that she didn't believe initially. It'd be her next visible lead.
Look at us. Just trying to steer clear of church the whole time, and here we are having our own little Bible study. He would take the information and I think just kind of pile it onto what he's kind of already piling together. Like, I don't think there's any direction yet in his head, even with that, right?
What do you mean?
I just don't think. I mean, it sounds like we could perform the ritual, but I don't know. Like,
Well, here's, I mean, one like the one thing that this sort of like proves in a way is that you have been targeted by this church.
Oh, sure.
It's not for nothing. It was for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm special, but
Yeah,
I learned that a few sessions back. It's
okay.
fine.
But the point is that they've been new
Right.
also. So, not that you want to do this ritual. I don't know that you do or don't, but there are other people that might be affected by it.
I think it's another
That's another
situation.
thing.
I think it's another situation where if there were participants and I was basically the last one out, I think James is in a current state where he doesn't have like a path forward and he doesn't see like this as it, but he's not going to. I don't think he would stop Freya if she wanted to kind of like organize it, and I think he'd participate. I just don't think he'd be 100% willing participant in it because everything I'm reading too, like it's if we keep delving, like it could be bad, right? Like even the holy
Okay.
powers kill.
Well, I want you to have that conversation. Actually, I'm
Oh, okay,
curious
sure.
for you to have that conversation with Freya to say, do we keep delving? I
If
mean,
we,
would you say that to Freya?
I mean, if we do this thing, what happens next? If we, yeah, let's say we all become as powerful as Cole, what does that mean for the others around us? And what does that mean for. I just don't see an end to the escalation anymore. Even
I
if we.
don't think we should do anything. I don't think this is safe. This ritual, how do we know? We don't know anything about it. Nothing, not like what it would do. I mean, would it, it says after the world has been cleansed by other people, unworthy souls. What does that even mean?
You know, not really my. Um, Not something I would want to happen. Because, I mean, what's the point of forgiveness if people can just be judged unworthy? What's the point of any of this? I mean, I understand a bit more about our prophet's desires for me and his unwillingness to just have me killed. But at the same time, at this point, all that can happen is I am forced into whatever machinations these other people want me to do, or I mean, even with that, how do we stop the prophet? He's gonna send more people, or come out here with more people, and we're gonna shoot them too. The cops come out, or if someone's a danger of getting us into trouble or doing something to us, do we just have Cole burn them with holy fire? What what are we doing? I I acted very quickly at the library or at the where they're keeping all the records, and it's I don't think I was wrong in my action. Especially after talking to the prophet the night before and seeing the malice in his eyes, he may not have done the deed with my father, but I just know that he's a cold-blooded person, and it would probably not be hard for him to do it to others.
The only thing I know we're not doing is this, whatever the hell this is. I don't know what the answer is to keeping people away from us or to fixing this, but I don't buy it. Like this just it feels wrong.
Yeah,
Something about this ritual, all this preparation feels just wrong and gross. And I don't know. Maybe we ask the others, like, see
I
what their interpretation is.
I'm of a mind that the higher ups probably already know about it.
Mm. We don't have to necessarily talk to them, but I mean, the guys you were hanging around, you said they've experienced this stuff too.
Um, well, I Cole has superpowers. Um, Josh is being assailed by nightmares and physical terrors that are seemingly coming out of Marsha's old church. Marsha's a conundrum, and I wouldn't trust Willow. Well, I was gonna say as far as I could throw them, but I'd probably throw them pretty far. I don't trust Willow that much. Um, I know that they're here, and they are apparently having a lot of, well, at least from what I've seen, a lot of problems taking it all in. But I just don't know. Something about Cole and Willow both. This grandfather connection. I wish I had their journals. But I don't want to ask them for them. Because what if it's just another dead end like this? Just something telling us what we already. Well, again, we didn't know that. But I kind of suspected something. Like, why would they keep me alive? Why wouldn't the prophet just have me shot? I'm surrounded by guys with rifles. And, well, I mean, I guess they tried to hit me with it, but they didn't just shoot me. And he was in the dream. Was he watching me, or was he just out in dream space? I don't know how it works, and unfortunately, these books haven't really taught me much about it.
I'm more concerned of do we stay here? Like, is this place safe with all of these rituals? Like, how do we know they're not going to try to go through with them?
Well, I'd say I'd go ahead and drive off, but my car's kind of gone. Where would we go? Back to college for you? Because that's not happening. Willow has access. If they want you back here, they'll get you back here. Do we know anybody outside of Texas?
I mean, there's got to be a group, right? There's groups for everything these days. Like we could
Yeah.
find something like she just starts rattling off excuses and like nothing that really makes sense. Just excuses for reasons she could leave.
Kind of shakes his head.
Cult Survivor Anonymous.
Shakes his
Yeah,
head.
Cult Survivor
There you go.
Anonymous. There's got to be a Discord for that.
A chaos for that, because right. We're doing crawler for Reddit or whatever. Um, James will kind of shake his head, kind of push the bridge of his glasses up, and kind of look at Freya and just say, "We leave, and then we run forever. If they really need us for that, they're going to chase us down, and we might have moments of peace, but those moments of peace could be the moments where we drop our guard, and that's when they caught up with us. It's not a life I'm wanting to lead. I don't know what to do, but I know I don't want to do that. There's got to be something we can do here to stop this, to stop all of this. Or at least, if it's going to go in a direction where this is truly the end of it, the end of all things, then if we can somehow stop that, then I mean, we gotta try, right?
I guess I don't know. I want no part of this stupid ritual, of this stupid nonsense. This bullshit. Like, this is complete bullshit. Who even what I don't know. There's just too much to process, too much going on. You're
Yeah.
right. There's no answers right now. I thought
When
maybe you'd have some.
when I entered into Josh's dream last, and I tried to help him with what was assailing him, whatever it was able to do what I was able to do. They could manipulate Josh's dream to make him see his childhood where he was being abused, where the turmoil was affecting him as it did when he was a child, I presume. But I pulled back the illusion that this creature had, and the horror that I saw, the thing that I saw doing this was not human. It wasn't a being like we've seen so far. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. And for whatever reason, that is interested in Josh, or that is toying with Josh for its own purposes, for whatever its own reasons are. That's going to continue to happen. And I think, in a way, I was able to help. I may not have risen to the occasion that night, but maybe with more information, it won't be so hard next time. The creatures that attacked my house. That's very clearly Marsha's fault. Something about that is because of her. Maybe there are answers at her old church. Maybe she has answers. I just don't know if I should just enter her dreams without her consent. It would feel... I don't know.
Freya, how do you react to that kind of thinking out loud about violating Marsha's dream?
She's conflicted. She wants the knowledge, whatever fucking knowledge is out there. And at the same time, that something about that just is ick. It's gross.
Same.
It's she voices that
But you don't
save
say
that.
fuck no.
Not fuck no, but she does say not now.
It's
That's a last resort.
it's a it is a violation, but is it? I've been toying.
I mean, you're going in someone's mind. Like it's a yes,
Well,
it's a fucking
no,
Funny.
violation, but
I'm aghast. I am aghast. I am not going in there, and I'm not, at least to my knowledge, I'm not able to do things to them. But creatures that assail them, like the one that attacked Josh in Josh's dream, was able to do that thing.
Mm,
I
okay.
understand. It's definitely it. It is a very different type of creepy. And again, I have hesitations myself. I understand, but I see what the enemy is doing. I see what our opposition is capable of, and what they're willing to do.
so we have to sink to their level.
I would rather that not be the case, obviously. But if Marcia won't tell us of her own free will, and if we go to her church and there are no answers for us there, but she does somehow hold the knowledge of what this means, why this is happening to her, to Josh, then doing nothing would be allowing it to happen. Of course, maybe she doesn't know anything. Maybe she's being honest with us. And if I were to do it, I would never forgive myself. It's it's similar to it's similar to Cole. He has the power to destroy those that stand against him. Was the archivist evil? I mean, based on her alcoholic beverage choices, I'd say she was kind of lame, but evil, I don't know. Um,
The shade.
she didn't deserve to die. I didn't know that was what was going to happen. I just knew that the potential of you being harmed by the Prophet, if he knew you were still in league with me after I had been excommunicated, wasn't a risk I was willing to take. And the camera spotted you out, and he knows now, and he obviously is willing to try and kill you. He sent people with guns to do just that. Maybe not just you, probably me too. But if not kill us, then kill everyone around us that isn't a part of gestures to the ritual, and then drag us off kicking and screaming.
We're not we're not going to stoop to their level. Not like I said, not yet. Give it time. It'll be okay. It has to be okay.
I could just ask her consent. Maybe she'll say yes.
I mean, maybe. I just
I'm gonna
I
ask
can't talk about this anymore. It's too much.
her. He says, I'm gonna ask her, and he gets up. And he's
Okay.
gonna walk around and find her.
So let's take a beat. The two of you are kind of like, you know, there's, more pins going on the board, more yarn, and it all seems to lead nowhere, and it all seems to lead everywhere, and the stakes are high. Um, you've seen that there is there can be really horrific consequences if things go sideways with this stuff. Um, and yet there's still a drive for you, for both of you, to figure it out, to resolve whatever is happening, and to maybe find a way out. Um, while the two of you are talking, unseen by you, um, you didn't say that you were anywhere particularly private when you
Right.
were talking. So, there was like some rando listening in, and we above the table see him kind of scamper off. Um, in a few minutes, Josh and Marsha, the two of you get texts from Nayeli. The texts say, "Hey, I'm wondering if you have been, um, I wonder if you have been close with Freya. I know that she um, often has a hard time with some of this stuff. Um, I hope that you will check in with her and help her to stay integrated into the community so that she doesn't feel alone, so she doesn't feel isolated. It's important that everyone here feels welcome and interconnected." So, Marcia, what uh, you get the text, and we'll come back to you. Josh, um, you have been through a lot of crazy shit in the past weeks. Um, it seems like, at this point you have maintained a great deal of loyalty to the Youngs. You have sort of like advanced in the hierarchy of the home. I mean, there isn't like a super strict hierarchy exactly, not like before the old prophet, but it's clear who has power or more power in the home, in the system. Um, so before you get this text, what have you been up to as you all have some, semi downtime from more chaotic things that have been happening outside of the home, outside of the compound?
Yeah.
Zach, are you around? I have a vision of Zach like just drooping off to sleep with like a dog on top of him.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
I apologize for being late.
No worries, no worries. Um, so what do you think? What has Josh been up to?
I'm trying to remember. He got all of his wounds treated, right?
He's been to the hospital.
Yeah.
He can return and is recovering from his wounds that have been treated. Um, so I would say like one of the things that is sort of a reminder too is that there are these, you've been having dreams about awakening pretty much consistently since you arrived in
Mm,
this town. And Nayeli Young has revealed that awakening is kind of like a core of this new, uh, deeper religion, far beyond anything like, I mean, it's very central. Um, and you also know that since you've been here at the compound, your nightmares are not, you're not being haunted by your nightmares. You have had to do you've had an opportunity to be a lot more uh, uh, kind of protective of the compound, of the people there, especially of you know being given direction by Nayeli and her husband, often sticking around with Marcia. Um, you also had the concern that those horrible creatures that have been coming after Marcia are originating in Snook, Texas, where she used to live. That's kind of another beat. So as you are, so you've kind of have, I mean, Josh is not, right, like the most sophisticated detective type, right?
I
Um,
would not call him curious. No.
right. And at the same time, he has like some security issues, right, to consider, as all of these things are like swirling around him. Um, so, what do you think he's up to? And then before he receives a text from Nayeli.
I imagine his truck has been through a lot, and if we have a trip planned, or not a trip planned, but at some point we're gonna have to go investigate this other church group. So, for brevity's sake, he's working on his truck.
Cool. Yeah. So, um, doing maintenance. Marcia has been doing some very creative driving with that truck.
Right.
So I'm sure there have been bumps in the road and things have to be recalibrated.
For some reason,
Um,
it's out of washer fluid.
there's a lot of washer fluid that needed to be sprayed. So now you get that text. You slide out from under the I don't know why you're working. I don't know why in my mind you're under the truck, but you slide out from under the truck and you check your phone, and it's Nayeli saying, "Hey, Freya, seems like she's having a hard time of it. Let's make sure she's feeling integrated, included, and safe." Marcia, you get the same text.
Is it a
Um,
group text or are they sent to us individually?
uh, hmm. I think I think it's obvious enough that you and Marsha are a team. So I think, yeah, let's say it's a group text. That's a good question. Um, Josh, do you react?
The text says we should make Freya feel included.
Hmm.
Very quickly, Marcia sees Josh's response. How? Question mark. All lowercase.
Oh, how? And then not even a punctuation.
Just how. All
Yeah.
lowercase, no question mark, nothing. Just
Okay.
how.
Marsha, how do you respond?
Marcia would probably be wherever Cole is and just be
Hmm.
like, just respond with thumbs up because she's like, whatever. Cole's like more interesting. So.
You know it. You know
Oh
it.
my gosh. That's wild. Okay. Um, all right.
Like that's the last thing on her list. She's like, oh, okay, I'll.
That's crazy. Cole is very magnetic, so
Watch out, Jenny will mess
No,
you
it's
up.
not like that. It's like he's a deity. She's like, oh, he's
oh my gosh, Jenny. Okay. All right. So I guess that brings us to Cole. Um, Cole, you have had to integrate a lot of information in a short period of time. Um, you know, there's pieces coming together, um, and of like um of what it means to be in this religion, of like new ways of seeing the world, um, new fears, things are moving and changing quickly. You have a day at the compound, um, outside of the chaos that's been going on. How do you spend your day?
Sleeping. a little bit. And
Okay.
then I guess just he would probably just make sure that he checks in with Jenny and Kelly. And he'd be especially interested in what's happening with Nayeli because she seems to be the de facto leader of things.
Okay.
And
So,
yeah,
yeah, go on. So, yeah, so you continue to kind of develop your closeness with Nayeli. You notice that Marsha has been kind of like wherever you are, that's where she's at. So Nayeli has been kind of has sort of delegated you two as like kitchen lieutenants, and you're sort of like in charge of making sure that meals are prepped. And she mentions to you, Cole, that one of the parishioners, Freya, has she's heard that she's been feeling isolated, and is having trouble integrating into the life at the compound, and she would appreciate it if or Marsha or both of you could check in with her and make her feel welcome and make her feel included and safe.
where is Freya now?
Where is Freya now?
Freya's, I guess she'd go back to wherever she's been like staying, whatever space she's calling a room or
Okay.
calling kind of
Mhm.
her
I'm
space at the moment.
I'm thinking Freya's probably in like one of the dormitories in like a bunk.
Got it.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
Cole and Marcia are like on kitchen duty,
Hmm.
and Cole gets the sense that Marcia is looking at him.
No, I wouldn't be like staring. I just want to be in your presence. So if like you're
Oh,
chopping
okay.
onions, then I'm
Yeah.
helping too in the kitchen.
Yeah, so knowing that like Marcia is around, he's gonna like use a chop with a little. He's like stay-at-home dad. He cooks all the time. He's gonna show off his knife skills and do a little fancy chopping.
Is do I still get a text message since I'm with Cole and
Yeah, yeah. So you got a message just for you and Josh.
okay.
You two are Nayeli's sort of like that's what's expectant. But then she pulls Cole aside and separately tells him.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you can hear her. She's not hiding it from you, Marcia, that she's saying this. Um, but she's just kind of like looping him in a little bit.
Okay. So when he comes back to chopping, I would maybe mention maybe we should ask Freya if she'd like to help us in the kitchen.
I haven't really talked with Freya very much. Are you friendly with her?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, we could go together then. Maybe you could at least do the initial talking since that would kind of be more natural since again, we haven't really talked very much.
Okay.
I'd walk down to Freya's room with Marcia.
Can I ask, is this happening before or after her and James's conversation? Because I thought James was looking for me.
This would happen after the conversation with James, um, or maybe like towards the end of it. Is so let's say this. Here's the beats. James and Freya have the conversation. Um, Towards the end of it, it's overheard by a passerby. Minutes later, the text goes out. So, and then minutes after that, she speaks directly to Cole. So it's been about 10 minutes since the conversation uh between Freya and James ended. So I'm assuming that at that point, James, you probably know where to find Marsha.
Okay.
You are welcome to immediately, interrupt their path as they are kind of making their way to find Freya.
I'll
So I
walk
have no
up.
idea what that conversation was. Do I need to know that or?
No, well, I mean, your
Okay,
character wouldn't
okay,
either.
that's
So
cool. Well, that's cool. Okay, kind of cool.
I'll walk up on them and say, Marsha, can I talk to you for a second? And I don't mind if you stick around, gesturing to Cole.
That's okay. I'm just gonna actually continue on.
Okay.
I'll meet up with you later, Marshall.
And I looked at Marsha.
Okay.
Is it okay if I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, so, a couple of folks are aware that I'm capable, and you know this too. I can enter into people's dreams. Um, and I've been really thinking about it. You are kind of a mystery to me. And I think there's a lot going on with you that we don't know about. And maybe you don't know about. And I know that most people's idea was to go to your old church and just kind of root around there and try and find out what's going on, where these creatures are coming from, or whatever. Um, but I think that I could probably get some information in a more safe method. Um, but I don't want to do it without your permission. Um, is it okay if tonight, when we go to sleep, if I enter into your dream? That's weird to say, huh? I didn't really think about how it would sound when I asked it. I just knew I had to ask it. If you say no, I'm not going to, and I understand. But if there's something there, like there was with Josh, I'd like to know about it before it does any harm to you or to anybody else. That's all.
Do you? I know Josh is having bad dreams,
Yeah.
and I know that you helped him. Do you think my problem with my you think my church is having him to cause bad dreams and I'm the cause of it?
So, I know that when the creatures were in the waking world, they specifically addressed your church and you specifically. We heard them say it. Now, when it came to Josh's dream, when I pulled back the veil a bit to see what it was that was torturing him with memories of his past, it was an abomination. A thing that I can't classify as being a human. Some creature of just absolute malice that seemed to be taking great pleasure in torturing Josh. And when it knew I was there, it became quite upset regarding the matter. At that time, and probably even today a bit, I don't think I was capable of doing anything to really stop that creature or fight that creature. So it may still come to be the case that it will haunt Josh in the future. It seems that there's some protections that are being put up in this house that are helpful. And with that being the case, us being in the house, I think if I were to enter into your dream at that point, if there was any lingering kind of malevolence there, or just any kind of subconscious information that you'd have that you may not know that you have in your mind that maybe you dream about but don't remember the dreams. You've had dreams like that, right? Where you wake up and you remember every detail, but like the next second it's just all awash. It just leaves you. Maybe I could help kind of clarify that for you, or help you kind of, you know, just see if there's anything there at all.
You think I can think on this and let you know at dinner?
Yeah, of course. You got all day. Not a problem. And like I said, I've been really thinking about this a lot. And with a couple people in the past, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just entered into their dreams without asking, because it's really something that it's hard to explain. I mean, I can't really tell you how I do it, and I can't really tell you how it works. I just do it. You know, it's kind of like Cole with his powers, and Josh. I mean, has trained, um, a long, long time. But there's an instinct there that Josh has. It's not something that we've got, right? Like he has a very strong instinct for protecting, for assessing threats and all of that. And I know some of it's training, but I think he was born with a certain power himself, And you're very charismatic. I mean, you're a very sociable person. You did very well for yourself in the church and all of that, um, and even after here. So I know we all have our different strengths and our powers, and I just want to do what I can with mine to make sure that we're, you know, dealing with this problem the best way possible. I mean, we could just go to your church, but I just feel like that's kind of not going to really do much. Like, they're not going to. I mean, they're either going to be very, very standoffish with us and not talk to us about it, which is going to get us nowhere, unless we do something drastic, which I'm really not going to do. I can't do that again. Um, Especially since there's no skin in the game for me in that. Or they attack
prefer
us with demons.
Another point. I prefer if y'all didn't go to the church.
Same.
How many times have you done this dream?
I've entered into Willow's dreams, Cole's dreams, and Freya's dreams. I have not really had cause to consort with anybody else in the church and enter their dreams, but each time, especially with Josh, um, and kind of with Willow, I was able to identify something that they weren't really thinking about and kind of look at it kind of differently than they were. So I I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't think you would be able to tell me what it is that I'd be looking for, and if especially if you didn't want me to know about it. So that's fine. I'm not trying to take information from you that's not being granted willingly. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's like maybe hiding in your dreams and in your subconscious that you're not aware of. Um, and if we know about it, then maybe we can do something about it. Think of it like a checkup. I'm a dream doctor.
Marsha doesn't go to doctors.
He doesn't know that.
Um,
Marsha's like, think of it as a dream doctor. Definitely fucking not. Fuck a
Oh,
doctor.
what are they gonna put the vaccine in me? What are they, the
Yeah,
dream vaccine?
exactly.
yeah. If you let me think on it,
Of course.
and I'll get back to you
Okay.
at dinner.
Where are you headed off to? After Cole?
Um, yes, I was looking for Freya. We thought maybe we'd invite her to help us in the kitchen.
Yeah, sure. She's she's doing some studying, and uh, maybe she needs something to distract her.
Okay.
She has to
Shisho,
wander
could we
off.
say that in the interim during that conversation, uh, Cole would have walked
Yeah.
to Freya's door and wanted to have a conversation privately with her?
Yeah, of course. We'll take a beat. You walk into the dormitory. Um, there's probably, some, parishioner milling about. Do you say, hey, can we have the room? I need to talk to Freya privately.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, sure, okay, no problem. And the person leaves. Freya, how do you respond?
Uh, for a moment, Freya doesn't quite remember Cole's name. Just kind of, I don't know if she's ever been properly introduced or if it was probably when everything was chaos.
Mm.
So she just kind of looks over a little hesitant and just gives the like, can I help you kind of
And he would just,
response.
yeah, he would be like, yeah, yeah, I hope you're doing okay. I know we haven't really talked much. It was way back at that really weird gathering. How long? When was the first session in game time? How many months
Hmm.
ago, Shisho? Do you remember? In game
Honestly,
time?
it's probably just been weeks. It's
Okay,
probably been like
right.
for maybe a month.
And Cole would continue like I remember us connecting a little bit about how we kind of didn't buy into this whole religious stuff. But then he would sort of look around and say, but you know what though? So much stuff has changed since then. Um, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, uh, saying things have changed a lot is an understatement.
It is. It is. I mean, I was real skeptical of all this religious stuff, but uh, it's hard when we've seen all the crap we've seen. I mean, you know,
I just don't trust it. Something's not right still. I don't trust anyone in this place, to be honest.
I could understand that. And I kind of sympathize. Um, but obviously, there's some very dangerous stuff happening out there. And so, at least we know that we're a little bit safer here. And there's just weird stuff happening. I mean, happening to me. I don't know about you, but weird stuff happening that's hard to ignore. Was Freya at the session where Cole kind of outed himself as having those abilities and that Marcia was there as well? Do you remember that? She showed a while back. There was like a session where Niley was like talking to a bunch of the people in her little gathering.
Yeah, I can't remember if Freya was there or not. I don't see
I don't
the dabbler in the occult in there in your sheet,
know.
so you probably were not there. But
Mm.
I think you've heard James talk about it, Freya. And you were also there the day that the archivist was killed.
And at my house. We've all seen Cold
Oh
Case
yeah, yeah. So you
movies.
did see it. You
Yeah,
did see it at the house.
Right.
yeah.
So he would say, there's obviously something happening with me and I don't really understand it. And it's very scary.
She just kind of laughs, like, yeah, about not understanding stuff. That's seems to be really common around here.
Yeah, it does. So I guess what I wanted to say is that I think there are some of us that really kind of maybe understand that part of what you're going through, and we're here, and maybe it would be great if you could, join us. And you know, I'm just out in the kitchen chopping vegetables.
So we'll take a beat, and then Marcia, you enter the room. Are you following Cole in with Freya after you're done talking to James?
I think I would go by the room, but if I hear them talking, I feel like maybe Cole has it, and I would go
Okay.
look for Josh instead.
Okay, perfect. So let me return to Freya and Cole. So Cole, you're like, hey, come on down, help us chop onions.
Mhm.
Freya, how do you respond to that?
She sounds really nice for a moment. The idea of just chopping onions and pretending that none of this shit is happening. So for a moment, she entertains the idea, and then just it feels like a lie. It feels like that's just ignoring the problem at hand to go chop onions and not be doing something more.
Hmm.
So like her face kind of contorts a little and she just chop onions. So you are glowing and have all these powers and you want to go chop
So
onions.
she says that. Freya says that.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, he says I would be angry too. I am angry, but I mean, like, I don't. We have to eat. We have to eat. And what do you propose that we do? I don't understand what's happening enough. I don't understand whatever power is inside of me. Like, what do we do? I'm not going to grab a shotgun and go like what and do what?
I don't know, something life changing. Like this. I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Aren't there's so many adults here, and none of us can figure out what the fuck to do, and it's not okay. There should be some answer. There should be something. She just kind of
I
goes on a little tirade and finally
I hear
cools
you, but
herself down.
yeah, I hear you. But and I feel like, listen, I'm not naive. I know that there are people that are like they're scheming stuff that I don't fully understand. So I get that. But I think that we have to figure it out together. And we're not going to figure it out together unless we're together. Think about it. And then he would turn and leave.
She doesn't like that answer very much, but she's getting tired of just hearing, well, what else do you want to do? What else would you propose when she has no answers herself? So she says, okay, whatever, fine. Let's chop fucking onions then. Maybe the answer isn't fucking onions.
That's a win.
Um,
Cole will take
as
that
a
as a win.
result of this conversation, both of you recover 1 stability.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Now I'm up to neurotic. Good.
I don't even know what I'm at right now. I'm at distressed. Now I'm shaking. There we go.
You were playing it well, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So now Marcia, you kind of clock that Cole is, doing his thing with Freya. So you kind of like redirect and you move to go find Josh.
Is Zach back? I saw that he said here.
Zach, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I would go to wherever Josh is.
Did anybody ever answer Josh on how he's supposed to?
No.
Good. I love that. That Josh didn't do anything. He's still in his truck.
Hey, what you working on?
Honestly, I was just making sure everything in here still sounding right. That makes sense. You you had to push this thing pretty hard the last few days, so I just like to give this thing a once over before we have to push it hard again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt anything in your truck. I'll help you pay for any repairs.
Oh, it
Yes,
ain't
at
nothing I
least-
couldn't fix with some tools here.
Okay, well. I just had an interesting conversation with James. He was in your dreams, right?
Yeah.
Did he ask permission before he was in your dreams?
Nope.
Well, he just asked if he could come could come in my dreams. I don't know.
Fuck you, John.
If he could be in my dream, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't like.
Well, that seems a bit kinder than the way he approached me.
I don't know if I should let him. Part of me is like, I don't have the dreams that you have. There's nothing that's been haunting me in my dreams or hurting me like you.
Mm-hmm.
But he says he's been in everybody else's dreams, like Cole's and Freya's and Willow's. And
He's got to complete the set.
I don't,
You think there's any harm letting James in your head?
yes. That man, yes. You weren't there. He drove a car through a building and then a woman
Right.
died.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't seem very stable sometimes.
I can see that.
But when you woke up, you said we needed to go to him because he saved you in your dream, right?
Or at least tried to.
Or at least tried. Would you let him enter your dream again?
I suppose if he asked and I thought I had a reason to, I don't see why not.
His reasoning for me is just to see if there's something, because those creatures are coming from my church for reasons I don't know. They're just, I mean, I told you everything. And he just wants to see if maybe there's something else that,
Do you think there might be something else?
no.
Not even the slightest possibility.
I don't think so.
Then I say go with your gut. Tell him no. But we are going to have to find some other avenue to investigate these happenings. So I propose maybe we go visit your old congregation.
I don't want to do that either. So,
Which one do you feel safer doing? Because we got to do something. We can't just wait for them to act again. I don't like sitting on the flat foot.
neither sounds safe.
I said safer, not safe.
All right, I guess I'll let him dream walk and but he's only did it once, right? You said he only did it one time, right? He hasn't
To
doesn't
me,
okay.
I think I've done it to Josh twice. Once was the first time, and then the second time was after that when you were in the hospital.
oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because
Forgot about the hospital.
first time we didn't really see much. Second time we had the creepy flesh demon behind the veil.
Yeah. Then I would clarify that. Sorry. Well, twice, but only one time went poorly.
Well, you did dream walk into Cole, and Cole seems all right. All right, I guess I'll allow it. I'd rather do that than you guys go down to Snow.
Well, then I think that's settled. Are you gonna go back and tell him?
Yeah,
Do you want me to go with you?
yeah.
He direct points his arm back towards the house.
Well, completely honest, I'm probably outside smoking a cigarette. To be completely honest, over in that corner that I.
Yeah, you just I imagine Josh is doing the courteous. You lead the way, ma'am.
Is it like I could tell that's where he is, James is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Then I would walk over with Josh.
Oh hey, had time to think about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk it over with Josh. That you're asking a big thing, and
Well,
And
I
everybody knows I'm the thinker around these parts. Josh smiles at both of them.
Yeah. Well, I know that when I first got these powers, I definitely wasn't using them as I was using them very casually, and I wasn't really thinking about the repercussions of what that meant. And after seeing that thing in your dream, um, Josh, it made me understand that this is kind of a violation. I'm I'm coming into your house effectively. I'm walking into your mind, your dreams, your psyche. So that's why I asked. I didn't ask Josh the first time, and certainly didn't ask Willow. Um, I did communicate it with Freya, and I just think it's probably just best policy if you know to expect me in the dream rather than me show up and just be like, "Hi," like it was with you. So you're okay with it then?
Yeah. But it's just like a one-time thing, right? You're not gonna
I'm not
come.
asking for access to the house forever and ever. I'm asking for
Okay.
one situation. We're gonna go in. I'm gonna see if there's anything that we're missing. If there's anything that's maybe haunting you and doing a better job of hiding itself than the one that keeps torturing Josh. See if there might be something like because they're finding you. There's no way they would know you're at my house if there wasn't something supernatural going on here, right? You don't have like a tracking device on you or something crazy like that. So they have to be finding you, right? And I don't know where else I can look. And I know that everyone wants to go to your old church, and like we discussed, I don't think that's going to bring a lot of fruit. That's probably just going to give us more trouble because if we go over there and we're like, hey, stop sending whatever the fuck those things are after Marsha and her friends, uh, uh, if they had the power to do that, I don't know why us just coming there saying it or trying to flaunt our guns or what have you is going to make them stop. So I feel like me going into your dreams um, is the best way to find out as much as we can about them um, without having to do that.
Can you take others with you?
So I have not tried that. Um, I think there is some words in the books I've been reading that might allow for that. I could dabble in that. Are you wanting Josh? I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know what your relationship is. Seems like a very close friendship or relationship, whatever. And no judgment or anything or whatever. Or if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Just kind of goofy look on his face as he looks at his cigarette, realizes it's gone, and kind of like just flutters it away to wherever he's tossing him, and then says, "But yeah, if it's to Josh."
Yes. I feel most safe with Josh. I've told him the most about myself. We have a very close relationship because we work together. I don't want you to think anything inappropriate. I'm an
Okay.
older woman. I see him as a very good good young man
Hey,
and
no
very
ju-
capable.
no judgments. No judgments. Okay. You see me smoking and drinking.
I
I'm
know, but I
living my
just
life
want
the
to
way I want to
clarify.
lead. My
Just
life.
want to
I'm not
clarify.
gonna. I'm not gonna. That's fine. So close friendship, great. So I'll do some studying, and
Well,
then
Josh, what because I'm very nervous about this, would you be willing
He
to?
nods.
okay. So I've got to do some studying before bedtime. Then, um, are you two? You're not sleeping together, right? Like in the same room. I mean,
No, 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 no,
I don't mean
no.
anything unchristian. Okay, I'm just asking if you're like physically close to one another in your sleeping spaces. It's a tight house. We've got a lot
You
of folks
would
here.
know Josh has been sleeping outside in a tent while most of you have been inside the house
Oh, that's true.
in
Okay.
rooms.
So then that question,
You know Josh has been
cycle it
sleeping
back.
outside alone in the tent.
I think that you're probably gonna have to sleep inside the house tonight, Josh. If that's all right.
I can move the cot.
It's either that or she moves outside. But
I'm sorry, Josh. I can't allow you in my room.
I
You'll
think
have to.
I think
Oh, I meant into the living space downstairs.
Okay.
I would move my cot.
I just wanted to be clear for James because
no. Yeah, I understand. The closer we can get you to that you feel comfortable would probably be best. I'm just assuming that.
well, shouldn't he be closer to you if you're bringing him?
Well, let me explain. So Josh, remember when I jumped into your dream the second time, and there were things in there? So I saw them also on the exit, right? So there's space, like not physical, obviously, because we're not in a physical realm when we do this, but there's space.
We're not.
I don't think so. I don't think it's real because I manipulate it with my thoughts. I just twist it as I please. It's it's hard to describe. Like it's just instinctual. It's just kind of
Hmm.
I don't know how to describe it. But the point is I feel like there's space, like there's actual distance between people. When I go into the dream and I moved from my house to, I believe you were at the hospital.
Hmm.
It felt like when I left there was kind of this buffer, and that allowed for like when I was leaving your dream for me to be caught out in the middle, and that's why I was still asleep when you when you came and got me. So my thought process is if we kind of like get closer. I'm not saying sleep in the same room, Miss Marsha. I'm sorry. Okay, what I'm saying is like maybe if you're in one room and like Josh is like in the room next door, and
Okay,
like
that's
and then I'm like in the room above you guys, or like whatever. Just so long as we're like really close, as close as we can be without it being awkward.
okay. Now you're just gonna go in, look for the things you're looking for, and get out, right? You're not gonna.
So I don't know what I'm looking for. So that's the thing. I'm going into your dream space, and whatever is there, I'm gonna check it out. So if
Yeah. All right. We'll just do this once, and then
look, I kind of gesture for her and kind of walk over to the side of the house, like away from my little smoking spot, and I just like look at Josh to like kind of stay there.
Oh no, I'm not going with you.
No,
Not Josh ain't.
I'm just like, come here for a second, come here for a second. I don't want him to hear what I'm going to say to you. It's okay.
All right, fine.
If you're having dreams about Josh or whatever, I can make that go away.
I'm walking away. I'm walking away.
James like,
Okay, you know what?
what?
Let's take a beat. Let's leave it
You know
there.
what? You're
That's
not
a
going in my
perfect
dreams.
moment.
You're not
Yeah.
going in my dreams.
That's perfect.
changed
Okay.
my mind.
So, I love that. I love the way that that has spun. All right. So it is pretty much um oh wait, someone said something about 9:10 p.m. Now I can't remember why.
It was
That was me.
Oh, it was you. Okay, so Willow, you're not really integrated right now into the goings on. We'll say that
Right.
you've been kind of isolated, and then um because we need to reintegrate you into the story a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a choice, Willow. There's gonna be some. Wait, what were you doing until 9:30?
I was in that little ritual space
You were doing your
situation,
ritual, and then before that?
hanging out with Craig.
Oh, Craig. Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you were hanging out, and so you've missed a lot of this kind of like stuff that's been going on. And unfortunately you'll miss dinner too. So, um, now with an extra pair of hands, eventually Marsha extricates herself from the humiliating conversation with James, and you can all kind of return to the kitchen to finish dinner. Marcia and Cole, you two are kind of like the head cooks. What are you making for dinner?
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak. Okay.
Nice. With some broccoli and other kind of veggies on the side. No broccoli, Shisho?
No, yeah, I mean that's very Cole and very Andy. And so balancing out the like depraved Texan deep fried cube steak with, some
Healthy veggies
healthy vegetables. Um,
with a little rice.
Uh,
okay,
Mashed potatoes. Sorry,
Oh, mashed potatoes. Okay.
And corn.
mashed potatoes and gravy.
Got it.
and
Got it.
corn. All right.
Wow.
So, in the back, there's like a tent set up for communal meals, especially when the weather's okay. The weather's okay. It's pretty warm, but could be worse. Um, so, people are encouraged to have dinner together at the same hour. You know, s- People, some volunteer to serve, and there's this sort of like chain that is formed of like serving the steak and the gravy and the potatoes and the vegetables, and once people are kind of settled, pretty much everyone has a plate to eat. Is there anyone that's not participating in dinner besides Willow? I
I
mean,
wanna
dinner sounds pretty good.
I wanna sit next to Freya.
Okay, Marsha, Hawkeye's on Freya as always.
No, it's not that. James keeps getting these bad ideas, so I think I need some lady.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking girl time
Well, if you were focused
to.
on Cole, like I wouldn't think you were sweet on Josh or anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
Give me. I'll stop.
that was perfect. That was perfect. So, Cole and James, y'all are having dinner too.
Hmm? With the
Yeah.
family.
Okay, with Jenny, and you're starting to give a little Casey, Kaylee,
Kaylee.
solid foods.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Loving that mashed potatoes.
beautiful. So, dinner is happening. Nayeli, kind of like, I don't know if any of you maybe you clocked this, maybe you didn't. Um, is actually holding a wine glass with like a little bit of red wine in it, and she ding 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 dings it, and so everyone that has been a part of this community is like, oh shit, we can drink wine now. Okay, that's cool. Um, you not okay. So she speaks up and says, hey everyone, um, you know, uh, big thank you to Cole and Marcia for organizing dinner and for everyone that has participated. We can't usually do a big dinner like this all the time, but it is so nice that we were able to do it tonight. Um, we have a new person that's integrated into the group. A person that's never been part of our fellowship before. So I did wanted to introduce them to everybody. Um, this is a young person who has been a seeker and a um, who has been through a lot to find their way to us. And she uh, introduces this individual to the group. Um, she says, "This is Nepentotli Marquez. someone who um, has been a searcher and who is has arrived here with us um, to they found us on the internet and fell in love with our message, and so they are here now to um to help us with our mission. I hope that everyone will show them the most uh warm and kind welcome as they integrate into our community. And everyone gives like a polite little clap, and that's the end of that. You can have, if you can recognize this character, you will be able to heal one stability.
It's Oatly from By Their Fruits. I actually called it. I told Robin, I bet that's Oatly.
You
Nice.
got it. That's
Nice job.
Oatly. You can recover one stability.
I need it so badly. Thank you. Now I'm only neurotic.
Good. Night approaches. Willow returns to the compound eventually. As people are, starting to like do dishes, um, load some industrial dishwasher that's been set up in the backyard or whatever. There's Willow does their little ritual in the back, and then um, you know, 10 p.m. rolls around. Are y'all going to do your dream stuff tonight?
You betcha.
No, no. After he made his comment, I rescinded my invitation.
Wait, for real?
Yes.
Wait. So hold on, because we may have to rewind. Because we were outside, and I said the dumb thing.
And I said no.
Okay, so hold on. I'm there, and Josh is there. Okay, and you say no. I rescind it. I'm not. I don't want to allow it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't. I didn't mean that. I didn't. I just. Whatever you're wanting to hide, if it's something like that, I don't. I don't care. That's not important to me. The fate of the world is. And knowledge is where we need. Is what we need. And if something is harboring and connected to you in this way, we've got to know about it. And if we don't, then the only option we have is to go and figure out what this church wants, and we've got to do that face to face. And I look over at Josh. Right?
Josh nods.
It's going to be a serious situation if we go there, because they're already willing to fight us with underhanded and supernatural tactics. If we have to go there, I mean, we're probably just going to be bringing much more of the same that we've been doing to fight them back. I want to avoid that. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity, James, to influence another.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll it.
I got to open the sheet. Hold on 1 second. Influence another is down here. Uh-huh. Probably not great.
That is a disastrous failure. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna put it 100% in Marsh's court then.
So I don't know what you all think I have. Why you all think I have something to hide? I mean, I do have a shame, but I'm a divorced woman, and she's gonna like whisper it really like it's the most shameful thing ever. I'm a divorced woman. Okay.
Okay.
And
The look on James's face was like, who cares?
it's a sin, and And that's what it is. I'm
Okay,
not even.
I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for anything about you. Okay, unless you're like some evil mastermind that's like plotting our demise and are actually the reason that's these things are coming for us, which I don't think is true. I don't get that vibe. Josh, you don't get that vibe, right? Like I think
Shakes his head.
I think you're a person who's being affected by people who have the ability to do some pretty heinous things, and some of them not being people at all. And I just need to know what I can about that. And if we can't figure out anything with that, like we need to know where they're coming from, what they are, and like if there's something that's hidden in you that's able to find you wherever you are, we need to know that. We need to know that. Like if they found you at my house, there's no reason they should know that you were at my house unless they were physically stalking you or they supernaturally can find you no matter where you are. Which means you can't run and you can't hide from them. If I can find out if that's true in your psyche, and I can do something to change that, or we can bring it to Nayeli after we find it and say, hey, this is a problem. Can you help us try to figure it out? Then we can fix it. I'm just asking for the opportunity to diagnose, to figure out if there's something that's happening here that we're not aware of. If you don't feel comfortable with it, I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push it.
I just need you to know, okay? The only man I'm interested in is God, okay?
I'm
I
sorry.
don't.
I'm sorry for making assumptions. I'm sorry for making comments. I do not think that you have any romantic feelings towards Josh or anybody else who's present. I'm sorry.
This is the first time Josh has heard that, so he's just like mouth open, but trying not to say anything.
This is the worst way to get friend zoned. Like, if Josh was even like, hey, Mark's
Not even
kinda
a
cool.
little, but
Okay.
just like
I'm
it
pretty
feels
sure it was
viscerally
never.
uncomfortable for Marsha, is how Josh is right now.
It
Okay.
is so uncomfortable. Her face is bright red, and she's just like,
I'm sorry. I don't understand the relationship. I'm not in it. I'm not even close to it. I'm sorry. I'm just.
So, okay. So let's say that um, it's contentious. But Marcia, you eventually agree to give your consent.
I do, but now I feel like I need to ask Freya to come instead because she's a female.
Well, let me say this, you are kind of you, James, are attempting to do this with with a lot more information than you ever had. So I do want to give you an opportunity to secure help. Um, so
I'll
I would say
I was gonna say
that,
after dinner,
go
I
ahead.
was going to bring it to Freya anyways because I did tell her what my plan was, and she
Mhm,
hasn't been updated on it. So, yeah, that was a part of the situation there.
mhm,
I wanted to ask Kimmy though in that statement, like it kind of trailed between character and out of character, like
mhm,
the desire for Josh to be out and Freya to be in. Does
mm,
that
mm, mm.
does that get voiced?
I think I would say I feel like I want Josh there for protection, but I almost feel like I need a female in there
Okay, who
for
who do you
the only
trust?
one I have any, maybe Freya.
Yeah, she's been in the dream world before. It wouldn't be too different for her. Yeah, I'll talk to her after dinner. I've got some research I need to be doing that I'm
Well,
not. So
don't I I told you that personal thing about me, my shame.
I
Please don't say
already
that to
forgot
other
it.
people. Oh,
I already forgot it. I'm not gonna remember it. It's not important to me. Okay, Marcia? You're obviously a very devout individual, and you are a very charismatic individual who is putting their faith first. I'm asking a lot of you here. I get that. And I assumed a lot, not knowing anything. Okay? I'm willing to bring as many people as I can muster. And since this is the first time I've ever brought people along with me, I don't know how that's going to work. So I will do everything in my power to bring them both. Um, but it may be the case it's just me and you. I am hopeful that that's not the case because I think I need as many eyes on the situation as I can get because I might miss something and you might miss something. Josh is very aware and Freya is very keen on details. So I
Huh?
think I look over at Josh. Um, Sir, I know you may doubt your own uh, instincts, but you are a very capable individual who is very cunning when it comes to matters of situational awareness. Um, just a heads up, and keep that in mind. That's what you bring to the table. You know when to leave. You know when to stay. It's a very admirable trait.
Okay.
wait, when we walk away, I would whisper to Josh, I'm so sorry. Um, I don't know where he got those assumptions. I'm embarrassed. I hope you don't get any wrong ideas about my friendship with you.
Never
Purely
have, never
platonic.
will.
Okay, thank
He
you.
just keeps like looking straight ahead, doing his best not to like acknowledge that we're having this conversation. It's
Still
like
red faced and embarrassed. We'll never talk of it again. Okay. And still
Okay.
sitting next to Freya at dinner.
Perfect. Perfect. So, James, in order to have your best chance at having everything go well, I'm gonna ask you to investigate, to read up on some of the, yeah.
So I was going to ask after
Hmm.
dinner, I would go to
Hmm.
Freya, and
Hmm.
if she's still doing kind of book study, I would ask her to
Hmm.
help me figure
Okay.
out as much as I could. So trying to get whatever bonuses I can on
All
the.
right, Freya. So you get the updates from James about what they're doing. Do you help investigate?
Definitely.
All right, go ahead and roll helping. It should be
Oh,
with
I just hit the button. I'm sorry. I
That's fine, that's fine. So this could make a difference. So go ahead and roll. Um, it should be with reason.
reason.
A +1. I don't know that that takes you to a full success.
Yeah, 15 is a full success.
Okay, so you're still at a
Oh,
partial. So hey, we're not done yet. Do you want to ask anyone else for help? See if they can get you to the
Well,
full success?
since Josh is kind of on the docket and so is
Mm-hmm.
Marcia, I would basically say after dinner, and since Marcia's right next to Freya, I'm like, I'm finishing up my research. I need to figure out as much as I can regarding what we were discussing. Do you want
Mm-hmm.
to come hang out with us and maybe kind of just, just be there?
Yeah,
Um,
and help us stay organized, help us sift through some material. Sure. So, if you would like to help, um, Josh or Marsha, please roll with logic. Or not logic, reason. Beautiful. Josh, you're just very lucky.
the realest one.
Um, you spot kind of like the right book, that like James was kind of like half sitting on. And you're like, what about that book? And so, you have a full success. So you can ask 2 questions. And actually, you can kind of sacrifice your questions and you can just let me give you what I want to give you, which will help you.
Give me the thing.
Okay. So basically, you know now that others can help you um, to kind of maintain a grip on the uh, on your process through a ritual. So um, if things go well, you can do it very quietly and quickly. But if you're not if your helpers are not able to help you as effectively, you may have to do a more elaborate ritual to maintain safety or to really like to really be able to guarantee the results that you're looking for. Um, you also note that you also discover that uh, because of the nature of the protections in this house, and the nature of your power, if you try to kind of dream connect with somebody like Cole or like um, Joshua, then you will be putting them at risk of having other entities resume their connections. So it's probably safe to connect with Marcia and Freya, probably not safe to do it with Cole and with Josh.
Well,
So
I was gonna say I've never connected with Cole, so I don't know about Cole's problems.
but they've Cole has had an opportunity kind of to put everything on the table.
Yeah.
So I think you probably would know at this point. Um,
Okay.
so you would know that it isn't really safe to connect with. There is not much that you can do to keep you and yours safe if you do a connection with Josh at this point.
I say to Josh, so I could bring you in, but doing so, if it's just slightly off, that thing that was causing you problems that I saw, it could get free access to the dream space here. It's kind of we're kind of like in a bunker of dream magic, and if there's a slip up, it kind of opens us up beyond the bunker. And since you kind of already have a friend on the outside, if they see that you're open for business, that means that me and Freya are going to be open for business too. It's going to come to all 3 of us. And I don't know, I mean, it was just me that was able to kind of see it last time, and it was able to kind of mess with you quite a bit. I mean, hurt you in your dreams quite a bit. If you want, I can risk it. If you want to be there for Marcia, but if you think that I'm of the opinion it could go either way. You could be very beneficial in there, and it might be worth the risk. But at the same time, if it goes bad and you're on board, it's gonna be worse than it would have been without you.
Josh nods like he's starting to understand. Uh, so I think I get it, but I don't think I'm the one you need to be convincing not to bring.
Well, it is your choice because you're either coming or not. I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do.
I don't want to put no one else at risk by my presence.
Okay. Then I'm going to have you we're gonna be sleeping in different rooms, okay? And you're gonna
Oh, hold on. So that's the other thing. That's another thing that you discover about your efforts to join everybody. The ritual, it actually has to be a ritual and it has to all take place in one room.
I'm
You
telling
have
Marsha.
to you all have to be kind of like in a row. But remember, you're not sleeping like, oh, I'm laying down and I'm going to sleep. I mean, you're kind of like making yourself sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like part of the ritual is like going to sleep and like kind of like hypnotizing yourself so that you go to sleep. So,
I think I got
yeah.
the perfect way of explaining it to Marsha and getting her consent. So I explain the ritual and I kind of like show, like I do some doodles and kind of show what
Hmm.
we're talking about. And I say, so we're just like it's like we're at a hospital, okay? And Josh is going to be here. He's not. If he enters the dream, I explain that part. It could be bad, so we're going to let Josh stay on the outside where he's best. And if he sees anything going wrong with us, anything at all, he'll be able to wake us from our dream because he'll be right here with us. So we're sleeping, but it's like a sleep study or something. It's not really like we're sleeping. It's not. We're not sleeping together. We're sleeping in the same room with Josh watching over us for
When
dreams.
when you say Josh watching over us to wake us, it's gonna remind her of the time that you were walking into Josh's dream, and they could not physically wake Josh. They had to pray over him with those prayers, and now she's gonna want Cole to be in the room and watch them sleep. Because
Uh,
if there's trouble,
now, okay,
Cole.
that's we can get him in here. Uh, I'd like to talk to him first. If you just bring him in here, and then I'll kind of tell him the situation, and then kind of work with him through it. Is that okay?
Yeah, because I understand why you don't want Josh to go, but I don't think Josh is going to be able to wake us because just shaking somebody awake, we couldn't shake Josh awake. What
Yeah,
if we're what if we're stuck?
yeah. I don't. I see your logic, and I understand. Um, but yeah, I would just like the opportunity to kind of like explain it to Cole, so he doesn't. Just let me talk to him first. Just bring him in here, and I'll just talk to him.
Should we bring anyone else in who like Naeli or
So
someone with more power,
I mean,
understanding of these rituals?
we could, and that's fine. She may actually tell us that we shouldn't be doing what we're doing, and
But she
that
doesn't know that they're following me and that
they
I don't
don't
want her to kick me out of the church because I might be bringing problems.
see now. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I just want to know what we know, and I know Cole is. Um, well, I don't know a lot about Cole, but he does seem to be hanging out with Nayeli a lot. I do notice that. So bringing Cole in, I'd like the chance to talk to him, so I can try and persuade him to stay with us. Maybe not bring this up with Nayeli before we get it started. Does that make sense?
Josh nods.
So if you want to go grab him, Marsha, I'll be here. I'm planning my my elevator pitch while we while I wait.
I'll go look for Cole.
Yeah, so it's probably well, like probably almost midnight by now, right? Or like 11 p.m.
It's late, yeah.
Cole, you're probably what? But
Sleeping with the family
you're already asleep.
at midnight? Yeah.
Well, let's say it's like 11.
Then he would be like on the cusp, yeah.
Okay. So Marsha, you know where to find Cole. They have kind of like a little family room. Um,
I would knock on the door to Cole's room.
Loudly or quietly?
Quietly. Let's
Good
be
call.
honest.
Good call. So Cole would look over at Jenny and Kaylee. They're sleeping. So he would kind of quietly get up and he would go to the door and crack it.
Hey, Cole. I'm sorry to bother you. Do you think you could step out in the hallway and I could talk to you for a minute?
Is it important?
It's important to James, and if if you're not going to be there, I'm just not going to do it. So, yeah.
And so now he's interested. He's like, do what? And then he's gonna quietly open the door all the way, slip through, and close it behind him.
Okay. I don't know how to explain this. James has this ability to enter people's dreams. He's done it to a couple of people already, and these creatures that have been following me around, James thinks that he can maybe he can find a reason as to why they're coming after me, or and
Wait, just wait a second, Marcia. You're saying that he could enter people's dreams?
yes.
That is
Well,
super freaking creepy.
Wait, Cole, you already know about this because
Oh, I
it
don't know
was
about this?
discussed at James's house when you all had like a kind of
Okay.
come to Jesus moment.
Rewind. Yeah,
Okay.
yes. James can enter people's dreams. That's super freaking creepy, Marcia.
You're
Mhm.
telling me, and I don't want to go alone. So I've got two chaperones. I got Freya the chaperone, and I want Josh there.
Wait,
But
why? Whose dream does he have to enter and why?
thinks he needs to go into my dream to
Hmm.
look at how these beasts are tethered to me. Like maybe we can break the connection or see why, or I don't know. He's very.
So,
I'm not comfortable, but it's easier than going to Snook, Texas, and I don't want to.
well, I mean, if you're not comfortable, that's a message, right? What does Naela have to say about this?
You fucked it up.
But let me. This is. He did help Josh. He saved Josh twice in Josh's dreams, and I've seen what happens in Josh's dreams. He is violently attacked by monsters, and the reason I want you there is if we if I agree to do this, I'll only agree if you're there. Um,
What do you think I could do, though?
you when Josh was not able to wake, those prayers, I said them over him, and they were the only way to wake him. And if we're sleeping, I fear that the only way we could be woken if we're trapped is by your grace, the grace that God has given you.
But I mean, Marcia, that's so sweet, but I don't know how to control it. What if something happens and I can't help you?
But remember the day at Josh's house? You heard the prayers that I was saying, and just by
Mhm.
saying them yourself, that it like
So you would be able to clock uh Cole that
Mhm.
she's talking about certain protection prayers that you
Mhm.
all have been
Mhm.
learning
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
your sessions
Mhm.
with Nayeli.
when I say the words, it helps, but when you say the words, it's very different. And I
You
feel like,
seem very scared, Marcia.
because what if he does find something, you know?
So, but can I just ask you, like, why haven't you talked to Nayeli about it? She seems like she's really trying to help us.
Because if she finds out that creatures are coming after me and it's me, the easiest way to get rid of a problem is to get rid of the problem, and it would be me. And I don't want to be excommunicated a second time
So,
from all.
so then he would put his hand gently on her shoulder and look at her like directly in the eyes and say, Marcia, you're not giving, I don't think you're giving yourself and Naeli enough credit. But they're not going to push you away. You have to trust that.
You can maybe
And,
tell that Marsha's uncomfortable with touch.
Okay, and then he would pull his hand away, and he would say, "And do you not trust Nayeli?"
It's not that. I was excommunicated by my own parents from a church that I was raised in from birth,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. So that
So,
I'm sorry for that. That sounds really traumatic.
well, I fear the same here. I feel like I'm finally making a home and I don't want to be excommunicated again.
Don't you think that keeping these secrets is, and if something goes wrong, is like a quicker way to that kind of problem than to be honest with not only with like us, but with maybe yourself?
I can see how you would think that, but everything, my life was dictated by my old church, who, everything. They knew everything about me, and I was still excommunicated. And I just, that's why I want you there. I feel like if anything goes wrong, you can protect us.
Um, I mean,
I have a
it's
thought too, by the
mhm,
way. So let
mhm.
me kind of whisper this idea into either of you can bring this up if you want. Is if things go sideways, Cole can also be the one to call for Nayeli.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. So I mean, Cole is going to go along with it, but I'm just sort of
Okay.
taking this path just to kind of RP it out into
Yeah, yeah, I think
maybe
that's
like,
great.
um, so says Marcia, like I respect your feelings, and I'm like it's thank you for trusting me so much. I if this is what you think is the right thing to do, then I'll be there for you. I don't know, like, again, I don't know this power that I have inside of me. All I could do is try, and I know I learned the prayers. I learned the prayers, so all I could do is try.
What
I
if,
can't, can't guarantee anything.
what if you just come listen to what James thinks the reasoning is for this?
I don't know. I don't think I need more convincing.
Okay.
You've convinced me. What I'm saying is that like I can't guarantee if something goes wrong that I'll be able to save you. I'll try my best.
And I understand about Naeli, and I think after tonight, if you want to go with me, we can go talk to her together about everything.
Wow, I think that would be a great idea. But let's just see what happens after tonight.
Because maybe nothing will come of it,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was all for naught. And you are right about some things, but it's just a little.
I still think that people in your dreams is super creepy. But okay,
Oh,
let's go.
I 100% agree.
Okay. So the two of you kind of may make your way back to James, and Freya and Josh. And so you basically need a clear space
Hold on.
to,
Sorry.
yeah,
Because I asked her to go and bring Cole to me so I could convince him, not to go
well,
and
she
convince
didn't
him.
do that.
I don't know that.
Oh, right, 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 right. But you are also kind of like plotting
Okay.
you before she arrives with Cole, you have to think like, okay, where are we going to do this and
Yeah.
how? And so one of the things that you're going to need is you're going to need a space for three people to lay down together. Um, shoulder to shoulder or whatever, or foot to head, or I don't know, just together in a space. You are going to need Josh and Cole to do some ritual preparations. And also all three sleepers are going to have to do ritual preparations. Um, so that's one beat. So you know that. Cole and Marsha arrive to, where y'all were talking before.
And I've got the space kind of set up since she was gone for a while.
Okay.
Um, I look over and I say, okay, so um, have you told them anything yet?
I, yes, I've told him everything that what we're doing in here and
So I'm
what his
sure
role would be.
I'm sure that you have questions, Cole, and I would like you to field them.
I mean, I just have one question, really.
Sure.
Is this safe for her?
That is a great question that I can't answer.
Okay, I don't like this.
Can I ask
I'm
you a
I
question?
mm-hmm.
Do you think it's safer to just continue and wait for these creatures to continue to haunt her and attack all those around her? Do you think that you can deal with all of them if they were to send them all to bear? You've seen things in your
I honestly
dreams,
don't
you've
know.
said, and you've been
Mm-hmm.
hurt in your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I ask you this: do you think that you can fight that with the power that you have?
Um, to be honest, I don't know the answer to that now because I
But
didn't have that
stop.
power before.
You don't have the answer to that. I
Mhm.
don't have the answer to the question as to
Well,
whether or
so
not
let me just
she's
stop
even
you there
safe
though. Like,
now.
so one of the things I said to Marcia, which I'll say to you, is that I really do think that Naomi should know about this because that's the person that seems to have more knowledge than all of us.
If you
But
wish
I'm
to
going to go along with this.
if you wish to consult with Naeli, I have no problems with that. She has a problem with that.
Right, and so we're not going to do that right now.
Okay. I have no problems consulting with her though.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that she would say don't do this.
Well,
But
we afterwards actually she indicated. I'm going to let Marcia speak for Marcia's for
okay.
Marcia.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I mean to say Naeli would tell us not to do this.
And then if that's what happens, then I would go with that advice.
I'm of the mind that she is certain that her protections here will service the defense of whatever is happening here. But I don't think that's true. Because
Okay.
you said yourself, Josh, you were attacked in this house even when there were protections available. And you saw that as well, Marcia, right?
Josh nods.
The creature was physically within the grounds, and then Josh has been attacked in his sleep.
I am trying to find out what is happening here. I have asked everyone involved for their consent. I am not going to proceed, Cole, if you have doubts. I want to make sure that's clear. If you have doubts, I want you to stress them because we need to make sure that we're doing this together. If we don't, the ritual is bonk anyways, if we're not all committed.
It's hard to know, but it's hard to express doubts when I have no idea what you're going to do.
I am going to, in a ritual fashion, enter into the dreams of Marcia. I'm going to search around in her dreams for entities that may be latent and present in her psyche. As was the case with Josh, there was a creature that was using his dreams against him. There could very well be a creature inside of Marcia's subconscious that is able to broadcast her location to her former church. And they are sending creatures in the physical world to haunt her and those who are close to her. Josh
And
and Marcia are very close friends. It is
how
no.
would you entering Marcia's dreams resolve that?
I can manipulate her dream space. I can see if there is a lurker within. And once I've identified that that is the case, then we can act on that. Either in
What
the
does that mean?
physical, by going to her church and finding that person
Hmm.
and confronting them, or by pushing them out of her dreams and pushing forward a protection of my own in her dreams so that it cannot re-enter. I have
You're
been
confident
pushed.
you could do that? You could do
I
that?
I have been pushed out of a dream before. I have seen it done. I think I can do it back to another.
Marcia, this is up to you. Right? So I'll do
I
whatever you like.
I haven't heard Freya say anything about this. I don't think we really got her consent to join in.
Ray's just like watching, like just kind of sitting there with the popcorn. Not literally, but just like taking in everything that everyone's saying. Um, I don't think we need to involve anyone else. I think this is fine as it is, yes. And I don't mind helping, but this is safe, right? Like this isn't gonna go to shit.
I have explored the possibility for intrusion. Josh is the biggest threat to that. If Josh were to enter the dream space with us, it would, if even
Right.
the minorest of slip ups, it would be a problem. I think Cole would also be a problem entering the dream space because he has had entities in his dreams before, per his own admission. I have not seen those. I have seen the ones in Josh's. But that could potentially cause the same problem that Josh has. Marsha's of a mind that Cole will be able to resuscitate us if we are knocked out of our dream states, like I was and like Josh was, because of the prayers, right? You said, Marsha, the prayers that Cole knows?
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart idea. I that's why I think it's good that you're here, Cole. That the power that's within you, um, I think we I think we share a lot more in common than um, some of the others here. We have this power that's manifested in us that we don't fully understand, and we don't grasp how it works, but we're grappling with it. You're grappling with your faith at the same time as you're grappling with the power you have available to you, and
True.
likewise, so am I. I just know that there has to be something that's causing these creatures to come to Marcia. They found her at my house. There's no reason they should have known she was there. I don't consort with Marcia on a regular basis. That's not a thing that they could have guessed. They knew exactly where she was. And according to Josh, they attacked here while she was here. They attacked somewhere else. I think you said at my house. What's her name? The old lady that you live
Ethel.
with. Ethel. Ethel. Yeah, they attacked her house too, right? So they know where she is wherever she's going.
Okay.
And I saw something that can do that to Josh. And I think she might have something lurking.
Okay.
Okay. So it seems like people are pretty much everyone's consenting. To prepare, I want everyone except for James to roll a help or hinder uh to help with soul.
Help or hinder to help with soul.
And just so you know, Marshall expressed she wants to sleep
Freya,
next to Freya.
Freya, you're a
Okay.
real one. And Josh.
Uh-oh.
Womp womp.
Womp womp womp. Okay.
Okay,
More
so
successes than failures.
you are going to have a +6, um, James, on your roll to use your ability. So that's pretty good.
The two people who are outside are the ones that failed. Oh.
Um, Cole and Josh failed. Um, we'll see what that
We'll see what that means.
what that means.
Holy shit.
So go ahead. We have a couple of minutes. Go ahead, uh, James, and make your roll for your ability,
Am I rolling
your
for my ability
advantage.
or dabbler?
Roll for your ability.
Okay. So dreamer.
Yeah,
Ooh,
20.
beautiful.
nice.
So it is like
23.
a spectacular success. Um, the three dreamers, are kind of laid out in this space on the floor. The ritual induces this hypnosis, and as the three of you descend into dreamland, Josh and Cole, you both are also affected by the like hypnotic tones of the ringing bells, and the two of you fall asleep as well.
Oh
And on that note,
no.
we will end tonight's session, and we will see each other again next week. Good night.